Hello everyone, and welcome to my Sister Wives For You channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Christine Brown-Woolley, star of Sister Wives, is starting the summer off with a gorgeous blonde bombshell makeover. Although she has always worn dirty blonde hair, she is now going for a more dramatic look, and it looks amazing. For additional information and to see her new appearance, continue reading. Christine Brown's blonde bombshell makeover is stunning. Christine Brown-Woolley was expecting her daughter, Truly, at the start of Sister Wives. Because her family led a modest living, she was also quite straightforward. They kept themselves clothed and didn't even flaunt their shoulders or arms. Their simplicity and lack of excessive hair eventually changed as the seasons changed. Although they added waves, cosmetics, highlights, and other embellishments, Christine is no longer subjected to polygamy. After leaving the plural family in 2021, she relocated to Utah and has subsequently gotten married again. Christine got a tattoo and is wearing leather and more sexy clothes. Christine recently took a trip overseas with her husband, David Woolley, and they had a great time. Additionally, she is advertising her candid book, which will be published in early September. Christine has added a blonde bombshell makeover to her appearance to go with all of this. She looked years younger after severely lightening her dark blonde hair. Fans and admirers think she looks very beachy with a hint of California, and they are completely enamored with it. She was in her car in the picture, grinning broadly and looking extremely natural and fresh-faced. Fans of Sister Wives adore her when she was blonde, looking gorgeous and enjoying her lovely life. It was evident during the season 19 reveal that Christine Brown-Woolley was in a far better position than she had ever been. Her partner has started new business endeavors and lavishes her with affection. Since getting married, Christine and David have created 2 Airbnb properties, and they don't seem to be slowing down. She wants to help as many people as she can and is also very involved in her successful multi-level marketing business. During her Barbie era, fans are giddy with delight as the Sister Wives star embraces her Barbie era. They also believed that Christine Brown-Woolley was only doing well now that she was free of Kody Brown and the poisonous relationship. She has discovered what truly nourishes her spirit and who she really is, and it is breathtakingly lovely. Followers hurried to express their opinions as soon as they noticed her new appearance. Go girl, and you look fantastic. Lots of sun. Bleached blonde, with her hair parted in the middle. She's a stunning blonde. It's incredible what happens to a female when she drops all that dead weight in ramen noodles. One person said that Christine preferred her daughter, Isabel Brown, because of the way her hair looked. Viewers of Sister Wives are enjoying her life to the fullest. Do you think Christine Brown-Woolley looks better than ever with her bleached blonde hair? Please share your opinions in the comments section below. Kody and Robyn Brown, who were once praised as the unbreakable pair and the Sister Wives' golden couple following the family fallout, stood tall amidst the rubble of a broken plural marriage. The guy who formerly referred to himself as a loving plural husband turned his whole focus to Robyn, establishing her as his favorite wife both literally and figuratively as Meri, Christine, and Janelle gradually moved away from their toxic relationship with Kody. This pivot appeared to work for a while. Kody clung to Robyn like a lifeline, praising her devotion, loyalty, and readiness to do marriage right. Robyn looked victorious, holding the final rose in his garden of failed relationships. However, in a startling turn of events that even seasoned observers didn't fully expect, the fissures are now visible, and what appeared to be an unbreakable alliance is starting to disintegrate in real time. Long regarded as Kody's emotional support system, gatekeeper, and protector, Robyn is now subtly collapsing under the weight of the favoritism that once appeared to be working in her favor. The last remaining couple is finally experiencing the effects of years of poor communication, broken promises, spiritual guilt, and emotional manipulation. Kody and Robyn's dream of a happy monogamous life is rapidly becoming a nightmare full of awkward distance, silent resentment, and a growing sense of betrayal. Because the terrible reality that fans are witnessing both on-screen and online is that Kody and Robyn's relationship is failing, and no amount of PR smiles, TLC editing, or heartfelt speeches will be able to conceal it any longer. Robyn and Kody each harbor a deep, festering animosity that is at the heart of this slow-burning catastrophe. Robyn perceives the resentment as faint yet evident. She wasn't the last wife standing when she married Kody. Actually, Robyn used to be the most vocal supporter of the plural marriage concept. She desired sisterhood, unity, and a vast, interwoven family rather than Kody all to herself. As the last surviving wife, however, she no longer enjoys the safety of undivided attention but rather bears the full load of Kody's collapsing ego, his resentment toward the departing spouses, and his increasing contempt for all that the Brown family formerly stood for. Robyn never requested to be blamed for the family's disintegration. However, because she was the favorite, because Kody did treat her differently, she is now demonized by both viewers and her own kids, who are growing up in a stressful, dysfunctional household where mom no longer smiles and dad is constantly angry. There are now shadows in places where her eyes used to sparkle with hope. Additionally, Robyn now hesitates in interviews when she previously stood up for Kody without hesitation. Her eyes dart, her voice falters, and her remarks are cautious and uncomfortable. Kody, on the other hand, is stuck, pouting, and spinning. Once managing 4 wives and 26 children, the man now finds himself in a monogamous marriage that he never really desired. A life with only one wife was never what Kody had in mind. His identity, his pride, and the foundation of his spiritual beliefs were all rooted in plural marriage. Christine's departure was startling. It was really annoying when Janelle split up. It was almost a relief when Meri called it what it was. Over. The chaos of his family used to be all around him, but now the quiet of his own home reverberates louder. In addition to his ex-wives, Kody is upset with Robyn for winning a race he no longer wanted to run, the church for rejecting plural marriage, and the community that formerly held him in high regard. In actuality, Kody feels confined. And it's evident. He rewrites history to make himself the victim, becomes defensive in confessionals, snaps at Robyn over trivial things, and talks to her with a coldness that was never there before. Tension, silences, and the heavy burden of "this isn't what either of us signed up for" have replaced the exact intimacy they previously shared. The trust, the inside jokes, the flirtation. The most recent confessionals provide the viewers with the clearest view of it. Robyn weeps, but not in the same theatrical way as when the family was still together. These tears are not like the others. They originate from an epiphany. She sobs because she is aware that the fairy tale is coming to an end. She is aware that Kody is becoming even more resentful and that the man she has been fighting so hard to keep is no longer emotionally there. In contrast, Kody doesn't weep. He gets angry. His anger stems from disloyalty. Even while Robyn sits next to him and does her best to love him, he complains about how nobody loves him. It is insufficient. It won't be. The control, the power, and the appearance of being at the center of a multifaceted, multi-universe are what Kody really misses, not just his former wives. He is now merely a man with a single wife, a few tense relationships with his kids, and a spiritual life that is out of step with his everyday existence. The children's involvement in the emotional aftermath from Kody and Robyn's gradual breakdown is among its most tragic aspects. Robyn's children, particularly the younger ones, are growing up in a more volatile and tense home. Kody is clearly withdrawn. He is less fun, more preoccupied, and occasionally aloof. Fans observe that there is a discernible distance between Kody and the kids, not only from Robyn's children but also from Christine's and Janelle's, even during family conversations and holiday get-togethers. Instead of being there for the family that is, it seems as though Dad is mentally elsewhere, mourning the one that was. Robyn is also making a valiant effort to keep it together. She arranges family reunions that end in passive-aggressive silence, hosts dinner parties that no one comes, and smiles through clenched teeth. Keeping Kody, she reasoned, meant preserving the fantasy. She now realizes, however, that a fantasy based on partiality, inequality, and animosity cannot last. Particularly when it's just the two of them, with no one else to place the blame on. no sister wives to use as a scapegoat, and no other ideal to conceal. Additionally, there is the indisputable spiritual component. Robyn was brought into the family with a hope of a faith-based partnership, an eternal bond, and a celestial marriage. However, Robyn is now spiritually lost since the Brown family no longer practices multiple marriage, and the religious community that formerly supported their dynamic is dissolving. She talks of God's plan and healing, but the phrases have a hollow quality. The belief that formerly held her and Cody together now casts doubt on their union. What are they today, without the spiritual foundation and the goal of creating several families under God's direction? Just a disillusioned woman and a damaged guy holding on to what remains of a shared hallucination. The last nail in their relationship is also being driven by Cody's emotional immaturity. Particularly with his adult children, many of whom have openly separated from him, he has grown more unpredictable, suspicious, and paranoid. Everywhere Cody looks, he sees enemies. Every unanswered phone call, every family event missed, and every frank conversation with a former spouse. Once the one who calmed him, Robyn is now always on edge, fearing that she will say something inappropriate, cause another outburst, or become the next target of Cody's escalating resentment. She's worn out. Her eyes are tired, her smile is forced, and her body language is closed off, and you can feel it in every picture she poses. The Robyn who entered the family with love, optimism, and unity is not this Robyn. This woman is attempting to survive in the rubble of the emotional stronghold she attempted to construct with Cody, knowing that it has already fallen apart. Even TLC appears to be pulling down the veil more than ever before, as fans have noted. The impression that Robyn is the unaltered queen of Cody's realm is eroding, scenes are less edited, and confessionals are more candid. Robyn is no longer viewed by viewers as a co-conspirator, but rather as just another casualty of Cody's unbridled ego, his incapacity to examine himself, and his total lack of accountability. Finally, Robyn is starting to see it as well. She is slowly but painfully coming to the realization that winning Cody might not have been a reward, but rather a curse. The online discourse is harsh. Speculation among fans. Will Robyn depart? Is she allowed to go? Has she made too much of an investment? Is Cody going to change? The solution is still unclear. Robyn has dedicated her entire life to this man, including her identity and the safety of her children. It wouldn't just hurt to leave. It would be disastrous. However, remaining is just as intolerable, because she is in a cage and no longer in a marriage. What about Cody? He is blind to it. He is too preoccupied with his own suffering to be aware of Robyn's. What follows then? Will they attempt to pass it off for a different season? Will Robyn eventually face him on camera, without crying, but with the unvarnished truth that he is not the guy she believed him to be? Or will they fade into the background, a couple who are technically still together but emotionally very different, too ashamed to acknowledge that their supposed happy ending is actually just another chapter in a tale of spiritual deception, pride, and loss? Because the harsh reality is that Cody and Robyn's relationship is already shattered, not merely crumbling. The only question now is how long they can act as though the parts are still compatible. An insider close to the Sister Wives production has revealed that the long-simmering conflict over Coyote Pass, yes, that notorious area of Arizona wilderness to which the Browns have been emotionally and financially tied for years, is finally erupting in full view and will be a major plot point in Season 20. This is the most recent shocking twist straight from the heart of Flagstaff. That's correct. The forthcoming season will bring all of the tension, promises, and dreams surrounding the construction of a forever family compound on this piece of property to a head. It won't be pretty either. This source claims that viewers will finally see the emotional consequences of a family that once envisioned unity, but is now reduced to acrimonious land disputes, legal entanglements, and allegations of treachery. They will also see the logistical issues of who owns what and who wants to sell. This is the plot, not only a subplot. Because, in a cruel irony, Coyote Pass, which was once the greatest promise for spiritual harmony and reconciliation, has now turned into the symbolic battlefield for all of the Brown family's problems. This land has meant more to Cody than just future home plans ever since he moved his family to Arizona and said that God had instructed him to establish his legacy in the red dirt of Flagstaff. It now stands for shattered trust, power struggles, and unfulfilled promises. The dream is dead now that the family has been destroyed, but the battle is only getting started, and Season 20 is not holding back. So why is Coyote Pass more explosive than ever, and what is going on with it? The ownership structure is the first step. The roughly 12-acre property, which was acquired for $820,000 in 2018, was intended to be the Browns' joint investment. For homes for each wife and a sizable family gathering area were to be constructed. However, fast forward to the present, Robyn, Cody's last surviving wife, is clinging to the broken vision as Cody grows increasingly hostile and distant every day. Janelle is estranged and reportedly living in a rental. Meri has finally acknowledged her marriage is spiritually over, and Christine is gone and living her best life in Utah. All that remains is a piece of land on which there is no longer any consensus. Does anyone still wish to construct? Does anyone wish to sell? Who even has the legal authority to make a decision? This insider claims that the issues will not only be brought up in Season 20, but will also be the subject of a heated on-camera altercation that places Cody in the hot seat and compels both wives to acknowledge the land that has plagued them for almost 10 years. According to the insider, Janelle has been speaking more and more behind the scenes about wanting to either sell it outright or build on her share right away. Janelle was the wife with the largest stake in the property for many years. She encouraged Cody to develop actual plans rather than just talking in circles, supported the idea, and arranged for a trailer to temporarily reside on the land. But now that she's been gaslight, delayed, and fired for years, Janelle is done. She desires lucidity. She hopes that her investment will yield a home that she can live in or a sale that would enable her to move on with her life. According to reports, Christine is negotiating her complete withdrawal from the deed and has already become emotionally estranged from the land. She doesn't want anything to do with it and doesn't plan on ever going back to Arizona for any more land talks or family get-togethers. It is supposed that Meri, the wild card in this equation, is silently watching the cards fall. Her latest actions, closing her B&B to refocus her life, publicly terminating the marriage, and spending less and less time with the Browns, indicate that she may also be attempting to cash out, even though she still technically owns a portion of the property. That leaves Robyn and Cody, who are now using denial and fraying rope to keep the dream intact. This is where things become more messy and problematic from a legal standpoint. According to the insider, figuring out who owns what is a problem because the land was bought through a complicated labyrinth of joint ownership agreements, trusts, and spiritual marriages that have no legal force. According to reports, Cody has been defying efforts to sell or divide the land because he wants to keep control of it, as is customary. He maintains that the dream can still come true, that there is still a spiritual reason to keep it, and that his older children may one day wish to live close to one another. Even Robyn, who stands by him, is beginning to crumble under the weight of being the last wife left in a crumbling dream. Cody's reluctance to relinquish control is more about his refusal to acknowledge that his leadership failed and that the dream is dead than it is about the land itself. According to reports, Cody will go into a downward spiral in Season 20, while the rest of the family strives for accountability, closure, and liquidation. It's a referendum on Cody's legacy, not just a money dispute. He claimed to be a visionary for years. He is now being revealed as a man whose farm is merely a monument to fantasy and whose dreams ruined his family. According to the insider, one particularly dramatic episode would feature a full-blown altercation between Janelle and Cody, during which Janelle requests that her name be legally severed from Cody's on the Coyote Pass paperwork. She allegedly tells him that she no longer believes he would make decisions that are good for the family and that she thinks he is using the land to force her into emotional commitments that she is no longer ready to keep. Naturally, Cody is incensed and accuses Janelle of betraying him, supporting Christine, and attempting to ruin their shared goal. However, the truth will be evident to viewers. Cody is unable to cope with Janelle finally advocating for herself. Once a representation of faith and solidarity, The land now serves as the backdrop for Cody's worst humiliation, an unrespected patriarch surrounded by ex-wives calling for independence. According to reports, Meri's arc in this plot is quieter, but no less impactful. According to sources, she at last acknowledges that she has been written out of Cody's real existence and starts looking into whether she may utilize her land share to pay for her next phase of life. Her interviews with producers will reveal a woman lamenting not only the death of her spouse, but also the loss of a future that was promised but never materialized. Her realization of the years she wasted yearning for a man who never meant to include her in the fantasy he was selling will be shown to viewers.